Now something smells fishy. These are the 17 best mermaid hoaxes ever. Number 17, the Tsunami Mermaid. In 2005, this image started to show up in people's inboxes along with the claim, mermaid found at Marina Beach after tsunami. The claim was the mermaid was washed ashore during the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. The email also stated that the carcass was being kept under tight security in the Egmore Museum. The very same image made a similar email round in 2003, but was claimed to have been found in the Philippines and caught by some fishermen in the Visayas region. The concept we have of mermaids as sexy, alluring, half-female, half-fish, sirens of the sea is fairly new and made popular in many movies, from The Little Mermaid to the Pirates of the Caribbean. But myths and legends of merfolk have been around for centuries, and were usually quite scary creatures you didn't want to make out with. Number 16, the Bloomsbury Mermaid. If you lived in London during the 20s, congratulations because you're almost 100 years old. But also, you may have had the opportunity to see this little gem. There's not much information about this mermaid except for a newspaper quote found in the book Animal Fakes and Frauds by Peter Dance. The quote was a description of the exhibit written up in the Daily Express on June 22, 1921. She sits on her tail, as all the very best mermaids do, beneath a glass case, goggling with stark fishy eyes at the many visitors who pilgrimage to see her. The story of the mermaid is a romance. Her birthplace was the west coast of Africa, but nobody knows how long she's been in London or who brought her here. Two doctors who've examined her were completely puzzled. The figure, wise and dry like a mummy, is about 16 inches long, with a female form from the waist up and below an excellent fishtail. The baby skull is grinning grotesquely, disclosing 25 tiny teeth. Number 15, the Fiji Mermaid. This is by far one of the most famous mermaid hoaxes of all time. It was July of 1842 when an Englishman by the name of Dr. J. Griffin from the British Lyceum of Natural History brought to New York a real mermaid that he claimed to have captured near the Fiji Islands. The press was tipped off on the doctor's arrival in advance. Reporters were waiting at the hotel when he arrived, demanding to see the mermaid. What they saw convinced them that it was real, and they reported about it in their papers. Noted showman P.T. Barnum began to advertise the exhibit using images of beautiful half-naked mermaids. The hook was set and the fish were reeled in, and the exhibit was a wild success and drew huge crowds. There were multiple parts to this elaborate hoax. Number 1, the advertisements showed the mermaid to be a bare-breasted beautiful woman, when in fact it was made from the withered body of an infant orangutan, papier-mâché, and the tail of a fish. The response was quite hilarious, with the Charleston Courier describing it as, "Of one illusion, the sight of the wonder has forever robbed us. We shall never again discourse, even in poesy, of mermaid beauty, nor woo a mermaid even in our dreams. For the Fiji lady is the very incarnation of ugliness." Barnum himself said it was an ugly, dried-up, black-looking, and diminutive specimen, its arms thrown up, giving it the appearance of having died in great agony. There is also no Dr. J. Griffin, let alone a British Lyceum Museum of Natural History. He was in fact Levi Lyman, a friend and accomplice of Barnum's. Number 14, the mermaids of artist Juan Cabana. In 2006, this mermaid washed up on the shores of Fort DeSoto Beach in St. Petersburg, Florida, and then in Mexico, South Africa, and of course the Philippines. This was one busy dead mermaid. The images in fact come from artist Juan Cabana, well known for his eerie creations. His artwork has graced the cover of the Weekly World News more than 6 times. Inspired by a Fiji-style mermaid made of wood and paper, Cabana began a journey into a style of taxidermy art used in sideshow carnivals known as gaffs. Types of gaffs might include shrunken heads, two-headed animals, and medical oddities. When selling the sculptures on eBay or his website, in keeping with the tradition of P.T. Barnum, Cabana creates amazing but fictional stories for each item, describing in great detail where and how the creature was discovered. Number 13, the Malaysian Mermaid. In 2006, hundreds of visitors crammed into a small hall at the Museum Sultan Alam Shah in Malaysia to see real-life remains of a mummified mermaid. The owner of the mummy, Safwan Abu Bakar, claimed that it took months and the help of a group of mediums to find the mermaid, but he refused to reveal where, keeping the location secret. He went on to state that when they found it, they performed special prayers, including throwing yellow rice into the sea to entice the creature out. However, the mermaid died when it surfaced. The specimen is extremely reminiscent of the Fiji mermaid. Hair was added later, even though Safwan claimed it was still in its original state. But then, this is a guy who also claims to have caught a Bigfoot and can bring all these cryptid creatures back to life through magic. Number 12, the Papua New Guinea Mermaid. In 2014, a crew of fishermen ran their ship aground off the coast of New Zealand's South Island. The crew of 7 were on the beach when they discovered what they thought was a human female corpse. Thinking that a crime or accident had occurred, they notified the New Zealand Coast Guard, who contacted the federal police. After digging the remains out of the sand, they soon realized they had something very special in their possession: the skeleton of a mermaid. This story was posted on a site known for satire. In its disclaimer, it actually states, the articles in this website, even those based on real people, are entirely fictional. The insane thing is how even a site that claims it is reputable and primarily focuses on business posted its own article, which shows that even people who claim to be skilled reporters get duped. And I thought it was just my friends on Facebook who were that gullible. The image, as far as I can find out, comes from an artist by the name of Malcolm Lidbury. What was it for? That I don't know. Number 11. The Hull Mermaid. The story behind this little creature is that it was acquired sometime in the early 19th century by Sir Alister Hardy, a noted marine biologist. Not much information out there, but you can find it sitting in a cabinet at the Hull Maritime Museum in England. It is reportedly made out of monkey skin, a fishtail, and teeth that were carved out of ivory. Number 10. The Buxton Mermaid. In 2012, while working at the Buxton Museum and Art Gallery, Anita Hollingshead found what looked like, at first glance, the mummified remains of a mermaid. Immediately they ruled that out. The hair was definitely human, and DNA tests were going to be performed to see what kind of fish the tail came from. What was first thought to be the upper torso of a monkey was also ruled out after an x-ray. It is apparently a wooden and wire structure. The teeth are carved bone and the eyes are from some type of mollusk shell. Number 9. The Bulgarian Mermaid Skeleton. This photo started to make the internet rounds sometime in 2012. The claim is that the ancient skeleton of a mermaid was unearthed in Bulgaria. The skeleton was found by Professor Dimitrov and was supposed to have predated a flood that occurred some 8,000 years ago. But the truth is, the image is just a manipulation and was entered into a PhotoFX contest on the site worth1000.com, which is known for hosting such contests. The original image as seen here is from an archaeological dig in Ireland, and as you can see, no mermaid tail. Number 8. The Finny Fake. I haven't been able to find a lot of information on this mermaid, other than what is claimed to be a non-source quote from June 21st, 1961. Finny Fake, one of the greatest hoaxes ever tried on the British Museum, was this extraordinary figure. Claimed to be a mummified mermaid, it's now part of the exhibit, Forgeries and Deceptive Copies, at the museum. The ersatz mermaid proved to be a monkey's body wired to a fishtail. The next 5 mermaids are from a collection I call the Japanese Mermaids. Number 7. The Largest Mermaid. One thing almost all of the mermaids on this list today have in common is the ancient tradition of fabricating mermaid carcasses that seems to have originated in Japan. The oldest known of the Japanese mermaid specimens is said to be 1400 years old, and at 170 centimeters tall, it is also the largest known mermaid mummy. You can find it in a temple owned by a Shinto sect in a city near the base of Mount Fuji. Number 6. The Leiden Mermaid. Sometime between 1817 and 1824, Jan Kok Blomhoff procured this mermaid while serving as the director of Dejima, the Dutch trading company at Nagasaki Harbor. It is now on display at the National Museum of Ethnology in Leiden. Number 5. The Crawling Mermaid. This hideous creature can be found at a museum in Tokyo. No one knows its true origin, but the legend is that it was found in a mysterious wooden box filled with passages from the Buddhist Sutra written in Sanskrit, along with a photograph of the mermaid and a note claiming the owner was a man from the Wakayama Prefecture. Number 4. The Alien Head Mermaid. This strange alien-headed mermaid was a gift to the Zuriyuji Temple in Osaka from a Sakai trader sometime in 1682. Number 3. The Screaming Mermaid. While they are all equally disturbing, this one I find even more so. The pained, horrified look on its face just creeps me out. That may be why the monks at the Miyachi Temple, where it can be found, keep it hidden away in a small wooden chest. Number 2. The Kilauea Mermaid, also known as the Bulgarian Riverfish. This mermaid pictured here more closely resembles the movie version of a mermaid that we've come to know, and you'll soon know why. Depending upon which story you came across, this mermaid either washed up on the beaches of Kilauea Falls in Hawaii or was found on the shores of the river Vlodea in Bulgaria. Now, the images are quite haunting. You can clearly see a human face and a human torso as well as the mermaid fishtail. Ultimately, it was proven to be just some really well done movie props created by award-winning special effects makeup artist Joel Harlow for the 2011 movie Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. And number 1. Animal Planet's mockumentary, Mermaids: The Body Found. Now, after reviewing all the hoaxes in this list, I saved this one for number 1. Why? Because of the sheer audacity of a company who bills itself as the world's number 1 nonfiction company to choose ratings over integrity. And believe me, I'm not the only one who feels this way. Leading up to the air date, viewers were led to believe that this was all real, and in no way did Animal Planet tip its hand until the credits rolled. Up until then, complete with grainy footage, actors playing scientists, the show, as Brian Switek, a reviewer for Wired, described, was meant to titillate and deceive. They even set up a fake webpage that had nothing but a screenshot on it that claimed it was seized by the US government. Now, why did they go through all that trouble? Because we gave them their biggest audience viewership ever, with almost 4 million viewers watching not only the original hoax, but a follow-up sequel hoax titled Mermaids: The New Evidence. Mankind needs a collective facepalm. For more Hoax Factor videos and fishy tales from the sea, subscribe here.